Well, thanks everyone for being with me. My name is Kevin Anyango, and this is Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. The aim of the platform is to share and talk about soft skills, and also to let people understand, especially young people, that it's not just degrees, diplomas, or certificates that open opportunities. Soft skills, or what we call employable behaviors or employable characteristics, are what employers are looking for. And today I am with one and only Pinky Ghelani. Pinky, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
and just to put things into context, people that don't understand is so I grew up listening to you, Pinky, Capital FM, right?
That's right.
And each and every musicians that time, so I'm talking about Akina Nameless, Prezo, Akina Nonini. Without you, we'd be having those people here right now, because this comes to Capital FM and everybody is about Pinky, Pinky, Pinky. And here I am, I'm talking to you. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it, really, to be honest.
Whenever someone's like, oh my God, I used to listen to you when I was little, or oh my God, my parents used to listen to you, I feel so old. But I'm also very grateful. I've been able to maintain a brand in the industry for such a long time that the name still resonates and the name still clicks.
Oh yes, and this I think it just shows that if you do good to people, you receive also blessings, and you are an epitome of that.
Oh wow, thank you, thanks, Kevin.
Come on. And to use, I'm going to borrow Larry Mado's line that if you think dreams are not valid, check me now. I'm talking to Pinky Ghelani. It's just unbelievable. But I need to be professional and cool down. and let the show run.
Go for it. It's good for my ego.
Oh, come on. But Pinky, so do you call yourself a journalist or a radio personality, or is there a difference really?
Well, yeah, I think a journalist does a lot more work in terms of research, etc. Journalists are who are involved in the news. They are your fact checkers, if you will. I don't call myself a radio presenter anymore because I don't do radio anymore. I do more presenting in general. So whether you would like me to do a podcast or a radio show or a television show or present on stage, I can do all of those. So like I said, I don't, narrow it down to just radio presenting, although that is what really gave me my platform and made me a household name. It's so much more bigger than that now.
Wow, and also you are, well, I'm sure people will Google who you are, but doing my research, I do know that you are the ambassador for UNHCR.
Yes, I'm very privileged to be one of the voices for UNHCR. So I speak on behalf of the refugee, raise awareness on what the refugees go through and how, a lot of the times we sort of sit back and we think that the world is going to resolve our problems. But I think indeed Africa can take care of her own problems. All we need to do is just, be given the knowledge on how can we help each other. Be our brother's keeper is what I always say.
Wow. Well, I'll go to my first question, Pinky. And I know when I spoke to you for you to come on this show, it was about confidence. And clearly, you do not lack confidence at all. I'm obvious because of experience. But where does that come from, that confidence?
Wow, that's a great question. I think, we always sort of look back into our childhood, our teenage years. What impacted you the most in order to create who you are today? So I would say in my teen years, I was very insecure, unsure of myself. But, I had two very loving brothers, much older than me, very protective, therefore no boyfriends in my teen years. But, they always instilled confidence in me, even though, at that time I was slightly more overweight according to what I felt. In today's world where I'm bringing up a daughter, I tell her that weight doesn't matter. But according to me, I felt overweight and really not comfortable in my own skin. And they would always make sure that I did not doubt who I was, irrespective of what I looked like. And again, being raised by a very strong woman. My mom raised 3 children on her own. My dad died when I was 6 years old. So watching her, because she was a role model, and watching her tackle issues without batting an eyelid, I think rubbed off on me in some way.
Oh, so are you saying so it starts from the family, isn't it?
Absolutely, all the time. I think it starts from what we tell our children, how we raise them, what we continue. Because, there is a saying that what you tell your children is what they will tell themselves. So we must be very conscious of how we are bringing up our children. And, if you keep saying to your child, oh, what's wrong with you? And I've noticed sometimes I say that to my children and I'm very like, oh gosh, let me take that back, because they will doubt everything that they do if I doubt what they are doing.
Wow. Well, there are lots of reports out there saying that the current education system, not just in Kenya, in Africa, or in Africa, but in the whole world really, that the current education is kind of churning out graduates that are not employable. And one of those things that perhaps employers question is confidence. For example, I don't know whether you agree with this, but most of Kenyan families, or maybe people of my generation, well, I'm sure you can guess how old I am, we are told that you cannot look someone in the eye when you're talking to them. Or when you're shaking hands, you need to, to bow, those kind of timid behaviors, really. So,
sure.
I would say it is a community that has contributed to young people being unemployable, or their schools, in respect to what you're telling me now.
Well, I feel like, of course, education does play a huge sort of, it is going to impact you on how you act in your adult life. So yes, our teachers also do have huge value in what they are teaching us. And yes, also our upbringing. So I am having this huge debate at the moment, Kevin, because I am from a generation where we have been taught not to show off, if you will. So social media, where businesses and brands are all going on social media, and millennials are unapologetic on who they are and what they are, especially when it comes to social media. So a lot of people are like, oh, but I can't post myself on social media. But if you want to be a brand that you want other brands to be associated with, then yes, you need to post yourself on social media and you need to be unapologetic. So yeah, it is indeed what we have been brought up with. Our generation has been taught to be demure, to be subtle, not to be loud, not to be vocal, especially when it comes to women, not to be heard. So, and this has come down not only from parents, but from teachers as well. So similarly, what you're saying, when you shake hands, you don't make eye contact, or you bow your head. So all this is changing in today's world. But, thank God for social media, because not only do we have conversations like this, but we can also, YouTube, how to be more confident. You can follow people who are teaching you, are giving you the skills, and it's all absolutely free.
Well, talk about social media, then well, there's good and bad side of the internet, and I'm afraid I want to dwell a bit on the bad side, and there's the trolls. So you find 18, 19-year-old girl is creating her YouTube channels, or Facebook, but they get lots of negative behaviors or negative comments, and it kind of kills their confidence. So how do you control that? Or how will someone who's 19, 20 control that and say, you know what, they can continue trolling me, but I know what I want to do. How do they build that confidence to continue doing what they are doing?
It's so interesting that you bring that up, Kevin. I recently had a conversation with a social media star on my show, What Women Want. And I had the same exact question, like, how do you not put your worth on likes and comments and followers? So, I'm going to quote her because I thought she answered it so well, that she always reminds herself of the reason that she's doing this, the reason that brought her onto social media. What is it? And, of course, when you put yourself on a public platform, there will always be naysayers. There will always be people who doubt you, but you in yourself. And this is why I continue to promote self-love and what we say to ourselves, because that self-talk it's happening 90% of the time. So what are you saying to yourself? These are things that you have to be so conscious of, so that it does not distract you from why you are doing what you are doing. Everybody can get a piece of this pie. And the thing is, you can be doing the same thing as the next person, but it's just reminding yourself of the reason that you started on this journey and who you are. And of course, in my personal branding courses, I always tell people, what is your legacy? What are you going to leave behind? And then work backwards from that. What would you like people to say about you? Work backwards from that.
Wow, you mentioned about legacy, and obviously that brings the topic of being a socialite,
Oh.
and again, I'm going to use Kenya as a context where both of us are from. I don't mention any name, Pinky. I'm going to be very, very careful here, but you will see that those people that put themselves as socialites, they've got huge followers, and they don't necessarily have the content that you and I may want our children to see. Listen, I've got a 2-year-old daughter, well, she's a teenager now,
Okay.
but she'll be coming down shortly, actually. And there are some things, whenever I open my Facebook page, there are some things that I'm usually very conscious about. So what do you tell girls that listen to us right now, that always look at these socialites, in what they do, how they behave? How do you control that?
So again, I've had this debate many times. I've had it on WhatsApp groups. I've been actually shut down because I shared my opinion. But you see, I also like to see both sides of the coin. We cannot begrudge anybody for doing what they are doing. And that's something that we have to let go of as human beings. Let's let go of the fact that this is how somebody makes a living and earns a living, or does what they do, or builds their brand. Again, when I go into my personal branding, it's longevity. I want your brand to last. So you have to strongly think about what's going to make your brand last. Another thing that I'll bring up is Michelle Obama and how many likes or followers she has compared to somebody like Nicki Minaj. So I think it's 24 million and 124 million. So it's really about, what you're doing, again, staying true to yourself. Yes, there is one reason that I created What Women Want, and I felt that so passionate about what I'm doing right now is highlighting role models in Kenya, Kenyan women, African women who are not being spoken about enough. And the reason they may not be being spoken enough about is because they're not out there doing controversial things. So it's dull and boring for the mainstream media. But then, we also, as we've thrown it to the media when I've done a few webinars, is that what are we going to change in our narrative? Why are we always just also why are always our headlines just on politicians when marathon runners are doing huge things for our country? So who are we celebrating, really? And again, I say this and I'm always trying to tell people, don't judge, don't be that person. So I also have to practice what I preach. And everybody is doing their thing. So let's not begrudge it. But if you feel strongly enough about the fact that there's not enough being done so that your daughter or my daughter can have powerful role models, then be the change. And that's exactly what I'm doing with my What Women Want platform. I'm trying to be like, okay, fine, you may stray, you may go all over the place, because I can do my best as in my capacity as a mom, but I cannot control you as a human being. And the world is changing. It's changing so quickly. So what I grew up as a teenager is not the world my daughter is going to grow up in. She's going to be exposed to so much more, and that will change her. It will mold her into different things. So my thing is that, one, this platform is allowing you to come back and find yourself, or allowing you to understand that there are ups and downs in lives, but you can become anything you want to be. Just look at all these phenomenal people on this platform, and they will give you tricks and tips, and you can always take things. They will mentor you virtually.
Wow. Well, someone I don't know whether this is a joke or is serious. It's not a question. I'll just read what they say. So Pink, and I'm reading what the text says.
Sure.
So Pink is talking about what women want. What is it does women want? I'm not going to ask that.
No,
So
I will answer that, because it's a question I ask a lot of my guests.
Oh, please.
We don't know. It's such a vast topic. It's so complicated. But what we do want, and again, I will quote one of my guests, Zippy Okoth, who was there recently. Her show is coming up on Tuesday. Respect. I think at the end of the day, it's not only about women, it's human beings in general. Respect first. And I think that comes from respecting yourself first. If you can respect yourself, you can show respect to others. So in a nutshell. But no, I've heard it all. I've heard women want dresses with pockets on, women want to eat without putting on weight, women want equal opportunity. There's a lot that we are complicated beings, but I guess, it's continuously having these conversations. I don't think we can actually pinpoint, but
That's interesting. You talk about respect, and that brings to my other question. So you are I don't know that you used to be a beauty pageant,
Queen.
Right? Miss India Kenya.
So 20 years ago, I won Miss India Kenya.
Wow, 20 years ago.
20 years ago, whoa.
if that was today, Pinky, is there anything that we'll be doing different now?
Absolutely. And this is a conversation, again, I had with my daughter. She asked me, she said, so what made you the winner? And I was like, well, I don't know. I guess, it was the confidence, or it was the best answer, or it was a series of things, and the way you look, etc. So she goes, but what makes the way you look better than anybody else on that stage? She's 10. And I looked at her, and again, just going back to the fact that I'm bringing her up to understand that whatever she looks like, whoever she is, whatever she shows up as, is beautiful. And so she threw that question at me, that what made you better than everyone else? And I said to her, actually, what we got away with 2 decades ago, we probably can't get away with today. Because our younger generation is asking questions like this. And it's true. What made me win that crown? What made me a better candidate? I cannot say, because honestly, I cannot say that I am better than, who came in second, third, or the rest of those girls. And, just to reiterate, what we got away with 2 decades ago, we cannot. And even for me, if I was doing the pageant today, I probably would look at it and say, no, I can't compete with other women. I don't think women should be pitted against one another in that capacity, and that caliber. Yeah. And I think it's just, it took a 10-year-old girl who means the world to me to make me understand that actually skin color, intelligence, weight, height, size should not make you better than anyone else.
So you say you don't believe in that? You don't believe in beauty pageants now, even though you used to be part of that?
It's so interesting, but I can't say that I don't, because I will negate something that propelled me into being a household name as well. But I have to say that I'm really questioning it. I'm doing my journey into it right now, because she made me look at it in a completely different way.
Wow, that's reminds me about the legacy you're talking about. So, and again, that's what you're saying, that if it's okay to go on social media if that's what you want to do. So when it comes to building confidence, and again, I think this is very important for me as well. So apart from the family, so what else? How else will you tell people? What are other ways of building that confidence? That if you go for an interview or when you're talking to somebody, you feel good about yourself. How do you develop it apart from the family or other ways?
So you also, take responsibility for your life. You have to. Yes, when you're a child, you're being guided and molded, and your hand is being held. But until and unless when you reach adulthood, you have to now, you were sort of thrown into the world, find a job, do your thing, move out, pay rent, pay bills. So this is when you must take responsibility for who you want to show up as. And if you are going for a job interview, don't go there blindly. Be prepared. Be fully prepared. And when you feel very passionately about something, I feel you will do all the self-development that needs to take you into that space. And if you've heard anybody talk who's passionate about what they do, they've even said that they've done things for free, unpaid jobs, so that they can learn the trade in order to be actually now getting paid to do what they love to do. So yeah, it is a very fortunate time for the youth, because you do live, like I said, in the social media world where information is available to you right here, on these screens that you're watching us on. So take advantage of that. Google, listen to the podcasts, read, learn what you can from the people who really inspire and motivate you. And, again, this is why I do What Women Want, because there are those people that you will find there. And let them teach you. So go into a job interview prepared. If you feel you lack confidence, if you feel that you are unsure of how to present your brand, then find that information. It's so easily available. There are also courses that you can take. So, again, just don't go into it blindly. Arm yourself with all the tools that are just available to you.
Well, I've got 3 more questions. I'll let you go, Pinky. Just to reiterate, for those that are listening to us, this is Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. And the aim of the platform is to show young people that it's not just degrees that open doors. There are those characteristics or behaviors that employers are looking for. And one of them, today we're talking about confidence. Pinky, it is right to say that confidence matters when it comes to looking for opportunities, isn't it?
Absolutely. You have to believe in you first, and then everybody else believes in you. So, walk your talk. And there is something called imposter syndrome, where we question, but am I supposed to be? Am I here? And this is right for me? But, work through it. Another thing that I really encourage you to do is develop yourself. And developing yourself means that you need to sit with yourself and feel those discomforts as well. And go for it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with trying, making mistakes. This is how you find out who you are. This is how you develop your brand.
Wow. So you just go for it. And again, look, I've never met you before, but here we are talking. So again, it shows the power of the internet, isn't it? And perhaps that's another tool that we may use to build our confidence as well. To look at people that you admire, reach out to them. Some reply like Pinky replies. Others may not. My second last question. And again, it just resonates around confidence. At what time will someone feel like, oh, I feel like I am a bit overconfident? Is there something like being overconfident?
I don't think there's something as overconfidence, but there is something as arrogance. So there is a fine line between maybe being overconfident and arrogant. I think arrogance comes in when you let your ego take over, when you feel that you are better than others, when you feel that something only belongs to you and nobody else. And I can't say that I've never been down this path. I'm sure I have, but once again, you just have to sit with yourself and understand who you are. They always say pride comes before a fall, and when you do reach a level of arrogance, the universe has a way of sort of reminding you who's in control, and probably reminding you as well that there is a bigger purpose meant for you. I believe this. I believe that your work here is larger than who you are. So walk humbly, because anything can change in seconds, and 2020 has taught this to us. You could be riding high, flying high, literally, and within a day your world has changed. So yes, be confident, but be wary of becoming arrogant.
Well, I'm going to ask the same question. Again, how do I know that I'm being arrogant? Is it when I don't listen? I mean,
it's just that when your ego comes in, when you get offended and affected by things that don't come your way, I feel like when you feel that you are better than the next person. We've all got great talents. Everybody, this is why I don't call myself an influencer, because I feel everybody is an influencer, whether you have 2 followers or 2 million followers. I will never call myself an influencer, because we are all influencers. So, it's just learning who you are, and then understanding sometimes that when you are getting out of control, but it's a journey. It takes you knowing who you are in order for you to be able to call yourself out and say, hey, that was coming from an ego perspective. That was a bit arrogant, hone it in. And again, like I said, from when we started talking, is not judging. so always reminding myself that, or always reminding ourselves that, let's not judge. If you are in that space, it's okay. Maybe you have a lesson to learn, or maybe that's who you are. And it sounds very contradictory, but this is life, right?
Right.
It really depends, Kevin, who you want to show up as in life. You want to show up as arrogant? Sawa sawa.
Well, I like that phrase. I'm sure I'll use it again at some point. So being soft skills, we talked about, obviously, yes, you need to be educated, you need to have those hard skills. For example, to be a mechanic or a doctor, you need to know what you're doing. But
yes,
at the same time, we are saying, or do you agree with me that soft skills, they do matter?
Absolutely, they do matter, because at the end of the day, whether you're a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, whoever you are, an influencer, you are a brand. So the brand that you are building, the personal brand that you are building, will come from soft skills. And you need to be aware of those soft skills in order to be successful in whatever path you are taking.
And for example, of these soft skills that you think are very important, apart from confidence?
I think humility is important. Respect is definitely important. But again, and I think self-awareness is key.
Do you look for those things yourself when you're employing people? Or, I know, for example, your show, I know when you've got, actually, I do know someone that works for you. So when someone comes for you to look for work, do you look for these things? Are they important for you?
I keep an eye out. I do indeed. But, it's a journey. I'm 40, I'm going to be 45 years old in February, and I cannot say that I woke up like this. You know, it's a journey. It's definitely, you do learn, but it's giving people the opportunity and allowing, you know, you notice who you're working with when they allow you to mentor them, to guide them. So I purposefully, I do that. I try and do my best with my team, that I'm molding them in a way that, you know, you may be like this with me, but if you want to further your career in this department, this is what people are going to be looking out for. So I can't say that, oh, if you don't check this box, sorry, I will not employ you. But you have to, first of all, you have to have a good vibe. That's what I look for in people that I work with. And then that ability to be able to be flexible and be open to learn.
Wow, I got to say that you like good vibe, because I've seen in your pages, you know, you like dancing as well. I saw you dancing sample the other day. But listen, Pinky, I cannot thank you enough, you know, for your time and for replying to me. I'm going to ask this. You can say no if you want, but I'm going to ask. So every guest I've spoken to this show, I normally ask them to introduce to another person. Because I'm not an influencer myself, and I asked this person to introduce me to you. And he said that, no, Pinky, you don't need that. Just write to her, she'll reply. And you did reply to me. So I'm asking you, I'd like to have Jalango on this show. Can you introduce me to Jalang? I know he is your friend.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll give him a call and I'm sure he won't have an issue.
Right. So are you telling me that my next guest will be Jalango then?
Well, you know, I'm not his manager and I'm not him. But I can definitely make an introduction. And Kevin, I have to take my hats off to you, because this is the way you do stuff. This is so cool. Very well done.
Oh, come on, stop it. Oh,
no, honestly. I love it. I like it. So yeah, I'm going to give him a call and I will tell him that I spoke to you and I'll get you guys in touch. But if he doesn't agree, please don't hold that against me. Although I doubt he would say no.
Well, I totally understand, and this is how it works, isn't it? Pinky, listen. When I'm in a road where the world opens, it's great to come and have a coffee with you. But I cannot thank you enough for taking your time and to speak to me. I'm a nobody, but here you are talking to me. So thank you very much.
I said we are all influencers. Never call yourself a nobody.
Oh, thank you very much, Pinky, and do have a very, very nice day. And I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Cheers.